I just got something in the mail. So DJI have sent me their OSMO Pocket 4 Pro, and I just wanted to make this YouTube video featuring all of its features and my experience using this. There are definitely some new features worth noting, especially if you love color grading like me and if you love editing. I'll get a little bit more into the details later. Let's get unboxing. Alright, I've unboxed it. Let's do a rapid fire of what's in the box. Frame tap wireless controller and its charger, 2 wrist straps, handle extender with 1/4-inch screw, the Mic 3 with a magnetic clip and the magnetic magnet, 2 wind protectors for the Mic 3 charger, USB-C cable for charging, Pocket 4 fill light, mini tripod, wide angle lens for both lenses, portable carrying pouch, the main carrying bag, and finally the Pocket 4 Pro. Look at how beautiful that looks. So just looking at this camera in real life is surreal. It looks pretty crazy. It looks very alien and looks like it's from the future. So there are a multitude of new features that come with this camera. The features that I'm most excited for is the enhanced 1-inch CMOS sensor. And what this sensor can do is up to 17 stops of dynamic range. So 17 stops of dynamic range is pretty insane, right? That's really all thanks to the new D-Log 2. And with the new D-Log 2, what it essentially does, it compresses more tonal value into the log curve. So when you're grading in post, you basically get way more dynamic range. So theoretically, this dynamic range and this new log curve can rival some cinema cameras. I am getting ahead of myself here, but with 17 stops of dynamic range, that is a massive step in the right direction for a camera of this size. So the other features are the new lens, obviously, as you can see, with this robotic look. So if you want to have the option of multiple focal lengths, you do get that with this camera. So with other cameras, if you want a different focal length, obviously you need to change the lens. This is where the Pro comes in. If you want a quick option, you get 2 focal lengths. So the standard lens is around 20 millimeters and the 3x lens is around 60 millimeters. But you also can do 12 times on this, which is 240 millimeter equivalent on a 35 millimeter sensor. All right, enough talk about the features. Let's test this thing. Alright, what is going on, guys? And we are out on the field today in this amazing location. We're just at Avalon Foreshore, which is the beach just past Avalon Airport. You've got amazing salt beds over there. You've got an amazing beach as well. And you do have a beautiful view of Geelong over there. You can see the Spirit of Tasmania if you love going to Tasmania via boat. But yeah, we're just out here in this amazing location, here to test out the Pocket 4 Pro. Shout out to DJI for sponsoring this video, and shout out to DJI for sending me the Pocket 4 Pro in advance just to test it out. I already have tested it out a tiny bit with some cinematic videos the day before, but today we're going to test out all the capabilities of it. We're also going to talk about my favorite features of the Pocket 4 Pro. So yeah, let's get it. All right, so we're just gonna go over here, shooting over the water. The main thing that I do wanna test is the 3x lens, which is, I think, if you don't zoom in, if you don't digitally zoom in, it is around a 60 millimeter equivalent if you do have a 35 millimeter full frame sensor. So you do get that perfect portrait-esque focal length. With the new lens, which is great if you want some amazing looking portraits. All right, so I'm just on the end of the pier here, and we're overlooking Geelong, which is down there. From here, you probably can't see, but there is Geelong oil refinery as well, and you've also got the salt beds down there too. And we're just in this bay area, calm waters, and there's not much wind today, but let's test this lens out. Right now, I do want to try the new 3x lens, which is around 60 millimeters, like I said before. So as you can see, it is a 1x, and you do have the 3x option here as well. So I'm just gonna press that 3x option. Wow, look at that. Got the 3x option, and I'm just gonna start filming that oil refinery over there.
And here's the 3x lens shot on D-Log 10-bit. You can definitely see the difference of focal length in comparison to the standard lens. So this is the standard lens with a 15mm wide adapter, which I shot on D-Log 2 10-bit.
And then there's a boat over there that you can see pretty far away, obviously, but with the 3x lens, you do get that 60mm. But right now I can control the zoom. Look at that, up to 12 times zoom. That is insane. On this tiny camera, you get 12 times zoom on that boat over there. So you can see that guy over there going out for his fish. And he's far away. But with the 12 times zoom, I can capture him pretty tight, on a pretty tight frame, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, hell yeah. Now, one of my absolute favorite features on this is the new enhanced sensor, 1-inch CMOS sensor, which you can do up to 17 stops of dynamic range. They have come out with a new D-Log 2, which compresses a lot more tonal information in the log curve. So you do get a lot more dynamic range, up to 17 stops. And I did test it out yesterday in blue light, shooting blue light, and it is absolutely crazy the amount of information or color information that it takes. And when I was grading it in post, it retained a lot of detail, even though they're almost pitch black. I was using a little bit of lighting, but it retained a lot of information, a lot of detail in the clouds behind my model. Also, a lot of detail in the face, a lot of detail that looks like it was lost, but I was able to bring it back with those 17 stops of dynamic range.
So just a bit later, I moved on to test the gimbal while walking to another location where I wanted to test some portraits, slow motion, and more features.
Just like the Pocket 4, the gimbal is very good, very responsive. It stabilizes very well as I'm walking back from the pier. On the Pocket 4, you also get the Mic 3 and a controller as well. And that controller is the same controller you get with the OSMO Mobile 8, which is the phone gimbal that they have, which is a detachable controller. You get that with the Pocket 4 Pro. What that can do is, if you are on a solo trip or on a solo shoot, you're able to record yourself and control the Pocket 4 Pro wirelessly, essentially, which is pretty good. All right, so now it is currently basically golden hour. If you look over there, you can see the sun setting. And I am just right now connecting the remote controller over here. And you can see here, the controller can see what the OSMO Pocket 4 is seeing. And if I go to the control center, so I'm gonna set my camera over here facing away. So right now, I've got my Pocket 4 over here, looking over there, and I've got my controller over here. And what I'm doing right now is controlling the Pocket 4. And you can see here, you see that? Look at that. I'm controlling the Pocket 4 remotely, which is awesome. So if you are doing a lot of solo content, a lot of solo behind the scenes stuff, you don't even need to have your camera on hand. You can just pop it up on a tripod, pop it up on the floor, and just use this controller to see what you're doing. Anyway, great controller. You can control the Pocket 4 with it, which is pretty awesome. Because it's golden hour, I do want to film around here, grabbing a little bit of that golden hour view. Actually, it's pretty cloudy, so you won't get a lot of color, but you do have a little bit of dips of color down there. You can't really see it on the Pocket 4 right now, but I'm gonna try in post to recover a little bit of that detail. You can see as well on the cloud, a little bit of that detail, a little bit of that darkness, a little bit of that texture. I'm gonna try to bring that back on the Pocket 4, which I believe it can do.
So as you can see, I was able to bring a lot of the detail back, especially from the clouds. You can see a little bit of that texture, a little bit of that darkness at the top, and also the color from golden hour. You can see the sun setting in the back.
Okay, so I'm going handheld now. I've got my girlfriend over there that's gonna stand as my model, and we're gonna test out the gimbal of this while I'm running at her, but you're gonna come with me. Do the 200 ISO at 4K at 60, and I'm gonna start recording here. I'm gonna run at her. All right, let's go. All right, gimbal's pretty steady. Nice. And then slow pan up, slow pan down, pan around. Also, this location is sick because you do get these low water flatbeds over here, so it does reflect a lot of the sky back in. But yeah, it looks amazing. on some wide angle cameras. And yeah, this footage looks pretty sick already. And the gimbal is working perfectly. Now, let's alright, Kama, do you want to run back with me and I'll run with you? So right now I do want to test the 240 FPS. So what we're going to do is change this to the slow motion mode here. So we've got slow motion ready to go. Pro mode. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to do 240 at 4K, which is what we want. Now, got the wide angle lens. You ready? Let's get running. Let's do it. Awesome. Yeah. Sick. Nice. All right, so that's pretty fast. So we're gonna look how that looks at slowed down 240 FPS. Slowed down by 8 times. But yeah, pretty cool.
So as you can see, the 240 frames slowed down is incredible. It captures such fluid motion and it's super smooth. So if you're ever capturing anything that has high mobility, such as sports or cars or even birds, you have that amazing effect.
Just some quick thoughts on the Pocket 4 Pro. In my opinion, it is worth the upgrade. If you want to elevate your videos as a content creator, if you love color grading, and if you love different focal lengths, the Pocket 4 Pro is the one for you. But if you're just vlogging, if you're just doing, travel content or vlogging, and you're not into any of the color grading or editing or post-processing, then the standard Pocket 4 is sufficient enough. But for me, I love color grading. I love using different focal lengths as well, having that option. So for me, the Pocket 4 Pro is a must. I've been a fan of the OSMO Pocket series since the Pocket 3. So getting to play with the Pocket 4 has been so fun, and I've mentioned it 1,000 times, but 17 stops of dynamic range, that's on par with a lot of cinema cameras. Just having first-hand experience with this camera, it has been a joy to shoot with. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.